Grandparenting is actually becoming more and more important than ever before.
Well, being a good grandparent sounds easy. You think it comes natural. Well, it still requires a lot of wisdom, patience, and love, of course.
That's right. In fact, that's why we went right to the Love Doctor this morning to talk about how to be a better grandparent. And this is kind of an interesting one because as soon as we started talking about this during the commercial break, everyone chimed in saying grandparents should stay out of this, and I mean, it's a sensitive topic.
It is a sensitive topic, but we don't talk about it enough, and we hear very little about it. In fact, there's very little research out there on what it takes to be a good grandparent.
Yeah, because you think it's just going to become natural. You have the baby,
right.
and that grandparent's going to treat the baby like they raise their own kids.
But parenting doesn't come natural.
No, it doesn't.
You need to be taught.
Yep.
And grandparenting doesn't as well. So the first thing that I recommend is that people be very clear and have realistic expectations about their role as a grandparent and about the involvement. So sit down with your child or the parents of your grandchild and talk to them about what you would like to see as your role and how involved you would like to be. And just as important, let them tell you what they would like you to do and how involved they would like you to be.
Well, and that can become too much too. You're talking about setting limits for grandparents out there as well. I mean, that can be really a hard thing. Grandparent wants to spoil the kid, the little grandkid. Not always a good idea.
Not always a good idea, and that's my second recommendation, Rup. I think you want to remember that you're a team with the parents, and you don't want to criticize their parenting, and you don't want to go above them. The rules are being set by the parents, and you want to try to follow them. Remember, you're a team, and they're the parents, and you're the grandparents. Remember also that the better your relationship with your child, the better your relationship with your grandchildren.
Yeah, everybody has to be on the same page.
Everyone has to be on the same page.
If I say I don't want the kids drinking soda, I don't want them drinking soda.
Absolutely.
And it's unfair for the grandparents to come in and undermine my credibility, and I look like the bad guy.
Absolutely.
And they're the heroes.
They have to be with you on all aspects, whether it's food or taking the child somewhere. They have to remember you're a team. Next, I think it's important to remember that time with your grandchild is so precious. It's not the gifts or the possessions that you give the child, it's the time spent with the child. I encourage grandparents to spend as much one-on-one time with each grandchild as possible. It can be in a corner reading a book, it can be going to a park, or it can be out to lunch. But you want to try to establish and develop a relationship with a grandchild apart from the parents and apart from the other kids in the family. So very important. And listen to your grandchild. Talk to them, encourage them to talk to you.
And if you slip them a candy bar too while you're at it, reading the book, why not? The kid just likes you more for it, that's all.
Well, that's the whole point. That's what grandparents love. They love being the hero. But grandparents have such great stories to tell the kids, so much to teach too.
And that's the last tip that I would encourage grandparents to remember, that they're the family historian. That it's so very important when you spend time with your grandchild, talk to them about stories from your childhood, what it was like when you were a child, and what it was like raising their parents. They want to hear those stories. Remember that you're the person that's connecting generation to generation. So tell them about the past, but don't forget the present, and listen to the stories of your grandchild as well.
Yeah, I get that. I see so often that when grandparents come to visit the grandkids, the parents stay right there too. And I feel like you can't really bond with your grandkids if mom and dad are always right there running interference.
And maybe the reason they're watching and running interference is because they're afraid the grandparent may end up spoiling the kid. So that's kind of a balance that needs to be struck there, and that's kind of what you're talking about. Yeah.
It is tricky and very difficult, but I encourage grandparents, try to get away from the parents and establish a relationship separate from those parents.
Good advice, Love Doctor. For more of the Love Doctor's advice, listen to her talk radio program on the Voice America Network. That's at voiceamerica.com.
You can get a link to that website by logging on to ours. That, of course, is myfoxdetroit.com.
Good advice.